Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Erming. Now, they do have two accounts. We have Erming 215 and Erming 225. I'll link to this page so you can get over to their other page. Both of their accounts have obviously huge followings. I think this is more of the sketch page or account, but I like it because I do like the freedom, right? Whenever I look at their sketches, like it's so like you do see some process shots here, right? And I just feel like it's a lot more relatable when you can see these sorts of things. So look at this. Even though it's not complete, like if you zoom out, you can already tell that it's gonna be a good illustration if they just keep pushing it, right? I do think they're just using like a basic round brush for the most part. And then they do play around a lot with the gradients or lighting, because you can see a lot of like subtle shifts in values, right? Gradients that, or again with the soft brush, but for the most part, I think they're very direct in how they go about things. And I do think you can tell by the UI, the interface, they're using Photoshop. If not Photoshop, I've seen them use, I think, their iPad sometimes. Or is it mostly Photoshop? I think it's mostly in Photoshop. So look at how this is a bit more developed, right? But it starts out from here as really messy, sort of squiggly lines. But as they push through the illustration, it does get more refined. And I like seeing these shots because oftentimes we see the finished sort of product and we kind of assume that things start out very clean as well. But for artists like Erming, we do see a little bit of that wild side, I guess, when it comes to art, where it's just like it's almost as if you don't know what's going to happen, right? Again, if you look at their brushes, I don't see a lot of brush variety. It's like a basic round brush. Some of it does have some opacity, but it's mostly like, well, it has opacity, but it's not that strong, right? Minimal opacity being used. Same thing here. The areas in shadow are where they have the color of the skin, but in the areas in light, it's highly exposed, so it's pretty much close to white. But after the brush work with the basic round brush or hard brushes, you do see a lot of that gradient use. For example, for the character, for the girl, I guess on top of the guy. Oh, you do see those like very. It's almost like watercolor like, right? Those shifts in values, and even in the sky in the background, right? So you do see a lot of sketches here. And it's just like I think you can produce a lot of work this way, and it's more fun too. And you can fill up entire like pages this way, right? For example, this one, it's not fully like rendered, but you kind of get it at this view. You do see also on the right hand side very small like thumbnails, perhaps of the same character, right? And you don't always have to, whenever you sketch something. And this is an issue I face. Like I always feel like I need to finish it, and if I don't finish it, like to completion, meaning I do the paint overs until the lines sort of disappear, or the line work or sketch, I don't feel like I've accomplished something, but not that's it's part of the process. And I think looking at artists like Erming gives you that confidence because yeah, we do have some sketches here, some just line work, some with a bit of like this one's a bit more developed, but I think it's still mostly a sketch, right? Just a bit more fleshed out. We're gonna go through their other account. I think that's where we'll see most of it's Erming 225, most of their more finished work. Look at this, right? Now at this point you can't even see the line works anymore. And a lot of their like compositions are very sort of artsy. Well, everything is artsy because it's art. What I mean is they could be like a poster, right? Like it's not manga or comic, it's not sequential art. It's almost like pinup art, like it's like a standalone sort of piece. Now this one is more of a steady sheet, same character in different positions. The only color here is the pink. Look at how for the hair, they did add that line edge between light and shadow. Reminds me of another anime artist, but I can't remember their name. Like most of their art, like pretty much all of their illustrations, they do add their like lines for everything, even like the shadows, the lights. And they have a very sort of iconic style. I just forgot. They're a very well-known big artist, but Wow. So this one's a bit, right? I mean, yeah, it's not fully complete, but the story is right there, guys. So I think we have like a succubus kind of thing going on because she does have like a tail, right? She has a beer can. She's on top of the guy. Oh, wow. Oh, I think he's kind of a wolf or a dog. You can see by the ears. Oh, wait. I think the woman is not a succubus. I think she's like a cow. Kind of makes sense too, given those, the milkies, right? Okay, stop. This one, pretty cool too. The composition is great. You're seeing, like, it's like an album cover in a way, right? 1:1 ratio. Oh, we have a bit of BL over here, some boy love. Oh, look at those hands. I always like looking at hands because it's a great way to show your dominance as an artist. But if you look at the brushwork, do you see any brush variety, guys? I don't think so. It's like a basic round brush again. And the blending is pretty cool. It feels very 3D. It's almost like a gouache painting at this point. Or maybe even oils. I do like the let me just zoom in here. The reflected lighting, for example, right here in the shoulders, in the shadow side, you do see kind of these grays or a warm gray. It's coming from the light from the environment. So it's gonna help your shapes feel more like forms if you render things this way. But if you zoom in, do you see how like sort of impressionistic it is? And most of it is like using the same brush for the most part. Pretty cool. And you can definitely feel like the planes of the forms with how they render. Like it feels very, like I see a lot of like squares and blocks, you know, like the way they break down the values. For example, for this abdomen right here for the abs, you'll see this a lot, or this kind of breakdown when you just observe gouache painters. They like breaking things down this way, where they chunk out like each value into its own shape. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, well, look at this. Oh, it's we're too zoomed in. Let me just, right. You can still leave in that sort of loose-ish line work. I don't think this is the first sort of pass. Maybe it's the second pass of the sketch in terms of the lines, and then they added some flats and the shadows. And for the shadows, by the way, I do see a bit of that gradient or soft brushes being used. So it just adds a bit of that extra. Just adding that gradient, it just makes it a little more 3D, I guess. And it sort of suggests some kind of reflected lighting as well. So maybe that's why. She's wearing something very unique. I'll say that. And I do like it. A nice tail too. Everything else is perfect. Oh, let's see their process here. Let me just zoom in here. I think we have a video. Oh, it's not a process. Oh, jeez. It's like a slideshow. Okay, so line work. And then flats. And then shadows. Okay, right? I think we've seen a sketch of this in the other account. So this one's more finished. Look at that. I do like the signature. I think it's a sample. So maybe perhaps it's a work in progress. It's not fully finished, who knows? But again, this one feels like a cover for a magazine, right? But look at how they're really showing up the folds. This one doesn't have as much lines anymore. Like they've done a good job in essentially painting over those sketch lines. Very shape heavy. I don't see for this one, I don't see a lot of like blending brushes being used. It's very kind of hard edged. Lots of hard edged brushes here. Look at this one. I think we saw this in the short video in the montage, right? Look at the line work. Reminds me of, what's her name? Loom, Loom. Jibuji Loom. Just search for Loom. I think you'll find out that artist. But look at the way the hand was simplified. Let me just zoom in here. There you go. Do you see that? Right? The whole like front part of the fingers, or the top part of the fingers, they're in shadow, right? So instead of drawing out each finger, they just make it into, or turn it into one shape and then put it under a shadow, right? Now for the other hand, they drew everything, all the fingers, but they did chunk out the shadow area for the like the side of the hand and the thumb. But this one's more simplified, the one on the left. Right, look at the line work. I do see, even though it's a sketch, I do see some line weight variety, right? Even though these lines will most likely not end up in the final illustration, I do see some, sorry, diversity of line. Like you can tell the outer areas have a little bit more of a thicker line, and the lines within like the character is a bit thinner. It just creates a bit of that hierarchy. And I think it's very important. For example, for those of you who've like in design school, architecture school, you know how you make floor plans, and you can't make all of the lines the same sort of thickness. You know, like the furniture and all the interior stuff has to be way thinner than say the cuts in the walls. Whenever you're slicing through a floor, the walls tend to have thicker lines. Like it just creates this visual hierarchy, so it helps you understand what you're actually seeing, right? Same thing here. Even though there's a lot of lines involved, because some lines are just thinner than others and some lines are thicker than others, it just helps you sort of chunk things out a lot quicker. And I think it helps if they add the shadows too, because it does help push some shapes back. And even for some of the shadows here, they do add a bit of that, again, that gradient or soft brush effect, which makes this sort of flat drawing look a lot more 3D. I like their handwriting. Look at this one. Oh, look at ooh. Yeah. So they're some kind of butterfly. I think we've seen the sketch of this again in the previous account. Although they do post sketches here as well, right? Oh, and they always have that kind of one major accent color. In this case, it's a blue. In this case, it's the blonde hair. Here, it's the dress and the ribbon, right? Pretty cool. So if you can get things right in this sort of drawing stage, you're all set to develop it into this level, which is going to be a lot more finished, a lot more polished, to the point where you don't even see the lines anymore, right? Ooh. I've seen this guy reposted quite a few times on Pinterest. Look at that. Oh, I think it's some kind of like scar, the white part, or tattoo maybe. Let me just zoom in here on the... Oh, look at the shadows. There's a lot of like hue variation of it. I see a lot of like blues and purples. Very interesting. For example, if you look at the pans, look at how blue that shadow is. It does make it, if you add some color saturation in your shadows, someone mentioned it in the comments. I think it was on the video or on the art review video of ATIE something, ATIE1225. It does make it just look more fresh and alive when you add like colors in the shadows. This one's got, he's hot. Look at that. Oh, that scar in the eye. It's always like a badass look. What's going on here? So we have two elvish people getting it on. Perhaps they're dancing, right? Oh yeah. I wonder what's next. Okay. Oh, we have a wolf guy here. Is this furry art? Maybe. But yeah, I think in this account, they do have a lot more finished work or more rendered work. But they do have a lot of sketches as well. We have some nice feet there in the back. There you go. Oh, this one's pretty hot. I think this is one of my favorite pieces of them. So we have two women here, two goddesses. Oh, can I even show this? Wait, is it a chick? The one carrying the... Or maybe she's just like a really bulky, dominant alpha woman. Basically two demons or succubuses, who knows. I do see a piercing there, so I'm gonna move along. Oh, yeah, so they do use the iPad sometimes. So they switch between using the iPad and Photoshop. Oh, I do see like a reference photo on the top right corner. Or sorry, top left corner. I guess they're using it for the color, mostly, right? Because I can see the same color palette in the actual like sketch or painting. Look at this one. I do see some armpit hair. Oh, interesting. Look at this. Oh, so they have a reference on the top left. They're using their iPad for this one, and they're making their own sort of I guess fan art of whatever that thing is at the top left. So yeah, I guess that's it for this art review. Oh. Obviously, we need to honor the Asuka over here from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I just like it, right? And I just like the freedom in their work. They're just kind of it seems very nonchalant. Although they do have more finished sort of illustrations, right? But it all kind of just starts out like a very rough sketch, very loose, very playful. But they can bring it up. Oh, you will see the style change over time. Definitely, they got a bit more confident as time progressed. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the work of Erming over here. So check out both of their accounts. In this account, they do have quite a few sketches, although it's a bit more presentable, I think. In the other account, the first one we reviewed, it is a lot more messy or a lot more loose. So I guess maybe that's a difference. But yeah, so I will link this page in the description below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!